And I'm not telling you how you should eat. I'm telling you how I eat to fuel my body. I just want that to be very clear. Do I think this is the best way to eat? I think it's the best way to eat for me. Here we go. Hey, here we go. Another day of eating with Josh, everyone's favorite shit, which is mind-blowing to me. But yeah, sometimes I know people are just curious on what I eat. And so here is, we did breakfast a couple videos back. So if you want to see that, go check it out. We're going to do lunch today and we will shoot dinner another time. But today is lunch. And I just finished my workout. So immediately following a workout, I always do my creatine JB X Endurance. Everybody should be taking creatine. Creatine is so good for everybody. It's actually something that our body naturally produces, but we don't produce enough of it. So supplementing anywhere from 2 to 5 grams daily is for everyone. Not only is it great for muscle recovery, it's great for cognitive function. It's great for ATP production. So there's so many good things that creatine does for us. So yeah, go get yourself some creatine. Everyone should be on it. You don't get cramping like they used to say. It is, nothing bad. It's just all good stuff. And it's, finding a good product for a creatine is hard to do. So right after my workout, I always do 5 grams. If I don't work out, I take my creatine at night before bed. So I do 5 grams, but you can play with it. Start with maybe 2 grams and adjust accordingly. So, and this one tastes good. Tastes like lemon lime. But dump a little of that in my water, and then I'll drink that while I cook my meal. Here we go. So the main thing that I always like to focus on is your protein. So for lunch, a lot of times it's just a pound of ground beef. This is 85-15. I like it a little bit fattier, 80-20 even. It just has better flavor, easier for me to get down. But yeah, I basically make my pound of ground beef into 4 patties, and that's how I cook it. Cook it in cast iron. I'll cook it on the grill outside sometimes, but this has actually become how I cook everything, is just on a cast iron on the stove. And then I cook in tallow. So I cook everything in tallow, which is beef fat. I don't use any oils. Again, like I said on my breakfast video, I don't use oils. So cooking in tallow or butter is my way to go. So I'll just throw a little bit of nice little scoop of tallow in the pan. Wipe that around a little bit. Get that pan coated with that tallow, so then your burgers don't stick to your cast iron pan. Because I'll tell you what, for the years I've been cooking on cast iron, the amount of time I've spent cleaning them is amazing. I don't measure it, just kind of break it up into 4 little patties. This actually might be a little less than a pound because I did pull a little meat off of it for breakfast. So this is technically probably like 0.8 of a pound. I don't know, something like that. So yeah, we're actually gonna go 3 patties. I like to smash them down. Throw a little salt as I cook. A little back of yard seasoning. I don't know. This is the go-to seasoning, garlic, pepper, butcher's rub. So it's pretty good. It's got some good flavor. Smash these patties down a little bit, makes them cook a little faster. I always do a sweet potato with lunch. And the easiest way I found to cook sweet potatoes for me is sometimes for just time, I'll throw it in the microwave for 6 minutes. I'll have my oven on at 400 to 425. Once that thing cooks, which I already prepped it for 6 minutes in the microwave, I'll just throw it in a pan or in a whatever, something that's, again, not crap. Throw it in there, and I throw it in the oven for basically while I cook my beef patties. And yeah, and then it's ready to go. So lunch is super simple. You can easily have this pre-made. I just like the flavor, and I have the time to make it at lunch. I have my downtime. I work obviously from home, so food prepping is always good. A good idea is easy food prep. This cooks pretty quick. I can have this ready in about 15 minutes. So as long as the meat's thawed out, That's the thing I always have to remember is go down and grab some beef in the morning and have it thawed by lunchtime. The cheapest way to find beef like this, if you want to start eating a ton of beef, which is all I eat is red meat. I don't eat chicken. I don't eat fish, rarely at least. And there's some reasons for it, but I believe that red meat is the most bioavailable, nutrient-dense food we can eat.
Where do you get your beef?
So I get my beef. I'll get a whole cow. So basically, I found a guy here in local Denver who sells meat. He'll sell cows by like the half cow, quarter cow, full cow. So since I'm eating a ton of red meat now, I literally just buy a whole cow. It's the cheapest way to get it. You can get it down to about $5 a pound, which is way cheaper than if you're going to a store to get it. So I'll either do that, and then if I'm running low on that and I haven't found it yet, I'm gonna go to Whole Foods and try to find the stuff that's on sale. Like the other day I found 85-15 ground beef at $6 a pound. And that was 100% grass fed. So I don't love 100% grass fed. It's not my favorite flavor, but obviously that's going to be a little bit better for you because you're not getting the cows that are fed grain that a lot of time the grain is going to be covered in your glyphosate. So your pesticides. So I try to stay with 100% grass fed, but I got a whole cow that he said he finished it on some good quality grains, and that had the best flavor of meat I've ever had. Also, I work with Primal Meats, and they'll send me a box. And they have a really good meat, and they do a grain fruit finish, and so the meat has a really good flavor on that one too. So a lot of red meat, and I've been eating this way for over 2 years now. And to be honest, I've never felt better. I'm leaner. I'm definitely putting on size. I wish I would have known how to eat like this, or I wish I would have been able to force myself to eat more when I was competing. I struggled to eat a lot when I was competing. I don't know. And I also was eating like an asshole. I was eating a lot of fast food, a lot of burritos, a lot of burgers, a lot of pizza, where, now I'm just a lot more focused or a lot more disciplined when it comes to what I'm putting in my body and just taking the time to cook my meals. It's obviously a little easier. I'm not working out as much, so I have a little bit more time. But I always struggled with strength stuff, and I just feel like I wasn't eating enough protein.
Did your family eat like this with you?
The wife eats pretty much the same. She still eats some vegetables, some salads. She actually told me the other day, she's like, I really miss salads. And so I was like, well, start eating salads again then. You don't have to eat exactly like I do. But yeah, my boys, they love steak. They love red meat. And I'll still feed them a little bit, some food. They're kids, and so I'm going to let them eat like kids sometimes, but just not let it do it all the time. It's that 80-20, 90-10 lifestyle, right? Where 80% of the time, 90% of the time, you're doing things that are right. 20%, 10% of the time, you can have things that you just want to eat because you enjoy them, but maybe they're not the healthiest thing for you. So, but yeah. So for breakfast for them, I give them a little bit of ground beef and an egg and a lot of fruit. And then lunch, on the weekends, it's the same thing. They get ground beef, and dinner, it's typically some sort of steak. And I do give them, a little bit of pasta, a little bit more carbs. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty much the same. Awesome point, is actually just talking to them about it and showing them and telling them, hey, these types of foods are healthy. And yes, I know that it might not be your favorite thing. It's not sugar. It's not Pop-Tarts. It's not candy. But one day you're going to have to make these decisions on your own. And me and your mom, we're not going to be the ones there telling you, hey, eat this instead of this, eat this instead of this. And you go through at least I went through a stage where as I became an adult and I was outside on my own, I was like eating like an asshole and realized quickly that I didn't feel good. I, looked unhealthy. I was unhealthy. And it's cool to see my kids at a young age already starting to pick up on that stuff. Like my oldest he'll eat, too much candy or something. And he'll be like, I don't feel good, Dad. And it's like, yeah, why do you think that is? Like, what'd you just eat? Tell me what you ate the last couple hours. And it's like, oh, well, I had some chips and I had a Pop-Tart and I had this. And it's like, see, that stuff doesn't make you feel good. It's not like, it might taste good in the moment, but like, how's it going to make your body not only feel, but work, right? Because that's what this is. This is our fuel. What we're putting in our body is how our body is going to, what it's going to use to fuel our energy sources, our sleep, our hormones, everything. So yeah, it's really cool to be able to watch him. And my youngest is really good. He's really disciplined. Like my oldest, I'll let him have a burger bun. So I'll give him 2 burger patties. I'll make him about a half pound of burger every lunch or whatever. And he'll have one of the patties will be a burger. I'll actually give him a bun. And then the other one, he'll just eat it plain. Where my other one's like, no, I don't want a bun. He's like, I just don't. And he's very aware of how things are making him feel. And he's not like, it's not worth it to him. And I'm like, that's so cool. At 11 years old, you're seeing that.
You're giving them the tools.
Yeah, giving them the tools to help them, fuel their bodies. Like, hey, oh, you want to go on and play upper level sports. You want to go to high school, play sports. You want to go to college and play sports. This is what you're going to have to do to get there, because not only are you going to have to be a good player, but you want to be the strongest, the fastest, the biggest. And to get that is by eating healthy. So normally with lunch too, I'll have a cup of bone broth. I do kettle and fire. We do have bones. We want to start making our own. We just have been lazy. And so, or I have been lazy, not we. So I normally just grab some kettle and fire. It's pretty good. I love the taste of bone broth. I'll drink it cold or hot. I don't really care. But yeah, a cup of bone broth a day, typically. If I don't have it at lunchtime, I will have it with dinner or after dinner for like evening snack. So, bone broth. So yeah, we got some blueberries, some little guac here that's really just lime juice, avocado, and a little bit of salt and pepper, I believe. The wifey makes this and I love it. And I'll throw this on my burgers because got to get them good fats. And we're just waiting on the sweet potato. It's almost done. And I'm not telling you how you should eat. I'm telling you how I eat to fuel my body. I just want that to be very clear. Do I think this is the best way to eat? I think it's the best way to eat for me. I've tried other ways of eating, haven't felt that great. Anyway, so I figured this out, and for the last 2 years, I sleep better. My anxiety's gone. I'm leaner. I have more muscle mass on me. So yeah, I'm going to continue to eat this way. But that's the thing about nutrition. There's a lot of different ways to do it. So play with it. Play with things. Remove things from your diet. Put things into your diet. See how you feel after you eat them. All of this is an experiment for yourself. You don't have to eat it a certain way, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing if you decide to have some pizza one day. It doesn't have to be this like, oh, I'm a failure. It's because it's not, right? Live that 80-20, 90-10 lifestyle where 80 to 90% of the time you're making the right choice. And then you give yourself the leeway to make the wrong, to have things that you just really enjoy that maybe aren't the best for you. So that's how I've lived my life pretty much the entire way. And I've really found that eating this way, though, eating a lot of red meat, eating a lot of fruit, adding some sweet potatoes in for some carbohydrates, adding some bone broth in. Like, I just enjoy that, and I like the way that I feel after I eat this way. I'm not bloated. I don't get that like really tiredness after I eat, like that, oh, I got to take an afternoon nap when I'm done eating. And I don't have coffee after the morning. So my last coffee is about 9:30, 10 o'clock 10 a.m. at the latest. And I don't have that afternoon crash though with this type of eating. So I've just really found that I enjoy this way, and I feel the best from it. Let's check on that sweet tater.
Do you get your blood work done?
I have not. I have before. I haven't got my blood work done since this. I need to do that actually, yeah, and we can make a video on that. So it's a good idea. All right, for my sweet potato, I do take the skin off. Some people, they like to eat the skin. I don't. I don't like the way it tastes. So I just kind of get the skin off and then pretty much smother it in butter. Boom, look at that. Give it a little chop it up. I eat a lot of sweet potatoes. This is a big one. It's a big one. I think these might be yams, technically. Butter. I love it.
Do you usually eat lunch after you work out?
I do. I eat lunch pretty soon after working out. Kind of have my day scheduled like that where, yeah, it's breakfast, drop my kids off at school, come home, start to work out. And then right after workout, I typically go make my lunch and have lunch. So it's quite the sweet tater here. But yeah. And then after that, if I have any work to do, get some work done, and then go get the boys from school. So yeah, here's the lunch, right? We got, this is I think 3/4 pound of ground beef. Since I already pulled a little meat out of that, is I'll probably have another snack somewhere before dinner, because if not, I know I'll be really hungry at some point, or I'll have some heart or some liver, calf liver, calf heart. Liver and heart have so much good nutrients in it. Those are basically the multivitamins you should be taking and not taking the synthetic multivitamins, because they have so much good stuff in them. Beef, a little avocado, some sweet potatoes and butter, some blueberries, some bone broth, some water with some creatine. That's my lunch. Easy.
How are the avocados in Colorado?
They're hit and miss, just like everything else here in Denver. But yeah, that guac she makes with the lime juice and salt and pepper, oh, that helps out. I think lime juice helps everything out, though. I love lime juice.
Is lunch bigger than dinner?
No. Dinner's about the same as lunch. Well, you're right. Lunch is my biggest meal because I do more fruit at lunch, where dinner I don't. I kind of try to stay away from the fruit before bed. So dinner will just be it's normally a steak. It's actually not ground beef very often. It's normally just some sort of steak. Whether I'm really getting into tri-tip right now. Tri-tip and sirloin flap. Obviously, like ribeye is my favorite steak, but not eating that very often. So yeah. But then that and then another sweet potato, and then I have some sheep yogurt with dinner. So I go with more fat instead of carbs with fruit. So for dinner. So to give people a reference of how I'm eating compared to how much I weigh like 168 pounds. That's roughly about what I weigh, and it's roughly about what I've weighed for the past probably 10 years or so, if not longer. I've always hovered around like 165 to 168. There was one time in the games where I wanted to put on some size, and I jumped up to about 175 because I was drinking a lot of milk back then. And I got up to 175, and I just felt too heavy, and so I didn't like it. So I came back down to about 160, just below 170, 168, 169, somewhere around there. And so this is what I'm eating to basically maintain that weight with the amount of exercise that I put in. So yeah, it's about 2 pounds, 2.25 pounds or 2.25 pound of red meat, 2 sweet potatoes, and a good amount of a banana, a good amount of blueberries, an orange, probably a couple of tablespoons of honey, some guac, and probably like a half a cup of sheep yogurt is about what I eat on a daily basis.
Those eggs.
And and 5 eggs. I'm sorry, and 5 eggs. Sorry, and 5 eggs. So.
What about if you're traveling or not working out? Do you reduce what you're eating?
I will. You're right. Good question. I'll definitely. I don't know why I have 2 forks.
One for each hand.
Yeah, right. So shoveling. I will sometimes remove. I'll only do half a sweet potato at lunch, or sometimes I won't even do a sweet potato at lunch. I'll just do fruit instead of, and I'll just do like blueberries and a banana instead of the sweet potato.
But it's carbs that you'll cut, not necessarily the protein.
Yeah, I never cut the protein. I typically always cut the carbs if I'm going to cut something. eating out, it's a little bit more expensive always getting, red meat. Typically when I travel, I try to get Airbnbs where I can cook my own food and go to grocery stores and things like that. That's the easiest way to do it.
Do you have any eating out pro tips?
Not really. I tend not to be a lunatic. You could definitely go in and just be ask them not to cook in oils if you want. And some places will accommodate it, some places won't. Say I'd rather just have my food cooked in butter if you could. There's apps out there too that actually have places that only cook in tallow or butter. I don't have it. I think I had it for a little bit and I stopped using it because I don't remember what it cost. But yeah, I mean, I basically try to go to a place I know that there's going to be either a burger or a steak at, some sort of steak at. I'd have to take a nap after this one.
Do you nap?
Not very often. No. Not a big napper. I don't hate naps. I actually like naps. You can get them in, if you have time to squeeze them in. But when I trained, I used to nap. That's for sure. When I was training for the games, I'd take a nap right after lunch pretty much every day. And then I'd have a coffee, then take a nap. That was good times. Wake up, eat, train, eat, train, eat, go to bed. That's what that was. That's what that life was. And I loved it. And I miss it. But, definitely feel better now. Volume's lower. I still get sore, but I don't get as sore, So I definitely still try to recover just as much probably as I used to. I did sauna, cold tub, use E-stim, massage, stretch. This is a damn sweet tater. I felt like I opened it and I was like, that seems bigger than it was.
Someone did ask in the comments if your house is always this neat.
I think actually, I'm a pretty clean guy too. And yeah, Sydney's very clean. And I'm not a dirtball. I think it's all how you grew up. My mom made us clean a lot. We had to do the dishes. We had to clean the kitchen. We had to do all that shit. We had to sweep the floor. And my mom kept a pretty neat house. And so I think it just kind of depends on your parents, where some buddies are just dirtballs. They don't care. And it's like what fucking buddy? We were I was at the house in San Diego doing one of our pay him camps. And I come out and the dude's got fucking bacon. He puts a paper towel down on the counter and then just starts pulling the bacon out of the pan and putting it on a paper towel on the counter. I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, bro, what's the point of putting the fucking paper towel down? Grab a plate, put your paper towel down. You want to soak up the grease? I'm like, I was fucking gonna lose my mind. So he thought it was normal. I'm like, I have never heard anyone who just takes a paper towel and places greasy ass bacon on their counters without putting it down on a plate. Have you ever heard anyone do that? We're done. That was quite the sweet potato today, but we made it. Now, some blueberries. I don't measure any of this shit. I just eat probably a few handfuls. Ooh, these are good today. Yeah, the fruit here in Denver, not the best. But blueberries are coming around right now. The wifey does a good job of cleaning these bad boys too. She does something where she puts them in the spinny thing with, I think it's vinegar and water, and spins them for 5 minutes, and it's supposed to really clean them off. They do. I think they have a better taste too. Now I'll drink my cold bone broth. All right, so there's afternoon after workout routine. Again, 5 grams of creatine. Everyone should be taking creatine. Your grandma. I started giving my kids it this year, and so they're 11 and 13. I give them about 1 gram to 2 grams. but everyone should be taking it. So many good health benefits for it. So look into that. Again, then I'm having about 3/4 to a pound of ground beef, a sweet potato. I do try to get organic sweet potatoes. So some fruit, about a few handfuls of blueberries, a couple of bone broth. I had some homemade guacish avocado with lime, and cooked the beef in tallow, so in cast iron, right? Just trying to, fuel the body for what I want to be able to use it for. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. That's lunch for me, afternoon. Super exciting shit. Pass the word. Don't forget to pay the man.